All right, this is my Honda pressure washer. It's a Homelite, but it's got a Honda motor. Everything we do on it is Honda related. Bought it at Home Depot many years ago. There's basically only three things I need to do to upkeep this every winter. I change the spark plug, I change the oil, and I check the air filter. Unlike a mower, which is probably needs the air filter changed every season, my pressure washer usually does not need change because it's usually just sitting on concrete, not taking in dirt and everything. So we'll check the air filter, show you how to change it, but for me, I'm probably not going to end up needing to. So we're going to start off by changing the spark plug. All the links will be in the description, so you can check the description for the spark plug numbers. One item you might need to purchase, you can check your toolbox, is a 13/16 spark plug socket. So it's a deep socket to get a spark plug, so you can get your spark plug all the way down in to where get past all this and get past all this and get to the nut. So you're going to need a special socket for that. So if you don't have that, I'll put a link in the description. This one's made by Tecton. It's a 13/16 socket, so that might be something you don't have. So we're going to start off by taking off this black rubber plug on the end of the spark plug. It just pulls off. There's our spark plug. We're going to get our socket on that spark plug. We're going to loosen it. It's already loose. These really aren't in there tight at all. I can just do it by hand. Very simple. These say about 14 foot-pounds of torque. This is the old one. It's not in bad shape, but I'm going to go ahead and change it because I like everything starting upright. So I'm going to put my new one in. You always make sure your washer is coming off with it. So that's got the washer on it. My new one has a washer right there. I'm going to put my new one in. Always start these by hand. They got to be lined up right. You don't want to cross thread. So just always do it by hand. Once it gets going, you want to just put your socket on there to grab it and turn it by hand until it gets somewhat snug. I think after you get the feel of how little these need tightened, I really don't think a torque wrench is necessary. If you realize 14 foot-pounds, this means that, boy, you're really not tightening it much at all. Okay, so the socket is seated up against here now. Now I've already got my torque wrench set to 14 foot-pounds, which again is a very small amount. Okay, I got it on there. I'm going to barely tighten it and it's going to make a noise. Okay, there it is. Alright, so I'm going to put my rubber plug back on. Alright, that's it for our spark plug. So the spark plug is done. Okay, my air filter is usually clean because this is sitting on pavement almost all the time I use it. You got these two little tabs on your air filter cover. Push those in. It's got a little hinge on the bottom, but it doesn't hold this in. It's just going to let it come off. Like it'll just kind of come off. This is our air filter. You can see how clean it is. So this is a very clean air filter. I'm not going to change it. This is super clean on that side here. You just have a little bit of discoloration, but this is a very clean air filter. You can see how clean it is in there. If it was dirty, you can use a clean rag in there, and in there you can use air in a can, like an air duster, and blow that off, but you can see how clean this is. So I'm going to put a link in the description of what the new air filter is if you want to buy one. But you would just take your new air filter and put it in this direction with all these fins facing outward. This you have to start at the bottom with the hinges. They just rest on there. And then you just lift it up and these snap in the top. You just want to make sure that both are all the way in so it's on secure. And that's how easy it is to change the air filter on this. Alright, so I change the oil on this once a year because I use it for several things. I pressure wash my driveway, which is pretty big, and the sidewalk in the front, and then my back porch and a concrete pad in the back. I do that twice a year, and then I use it to wash cars and everything throughout the year, so it gets a little bit of use, and it's just so easy. These only hold about 12 ounces of oil, 10W30, and so it's just so easy to change. This is the oil I buy, 100% synthetic. It's a small engine oil made by AMSOIL. This is very expensive, but like I said, it's gonna last for years. I only need 12 ounces a year in this, 12 ounces a year in my lawnmower, and then every so many hours of runtime in my generator, which that could be years in between oil change on that. And so what you do here, this is where the oil goes in. I just have marked on my cap 10, 30, and 12 ounces. And it's a little messy if it's just that this wheel is in the way. You can see this isn't the easiest design. So you can just have like an oil pan sitting here, one person on this side, one person on that side, and you basically lift it up and you just turn it over. And when you do that, it's probably going to spill a little bit on here and here, but you kind of tip it over, excuse me, let it pour into your oil pan until it gets to a drip, and then you turn it back over. That may be what I end up having to do. It doesn't take long to drain 12 ounces, but I'm going to try this Mityvac. I'll put a link to this in the description if it works. It's a fluid extractor. So what I'm going to try and do is put it in here, and we're going to measure in this picture what 12 ounces is. So I've got it marked 0.375 quarts is 12 ounces. We're going to see how much we can get out with this fluid extractor. I'm going to try it sitting upright like this, and then what I'll do is we'll tip it and try it again. I'm going to just go ahead and put our rag right here right now to catch any kind of drips, because it's in a more difficult place than my lawnmower is in. My lawnmower, it sets up where there's not anything in the way. So yeah, that's not near 12 ounces. So we're going to tip it. Not sure if we'll be able to film all this. Well, we're basically, I might actually be able to do this. This one's a lot smaller than the lawnmower. Oop, it's already coming up. So I think I'm going to need your help. Okay, so we did get some more by tipping it, but then we did end up just two people, one on either side, picking it up, tipping it over. You can tell by the design of how low this is and where this tire is that there's nothing you can do about it, because the extractor won't get out everything. As you tip it, it's going to spill oil here. It's going to get on the inside of the tire where it's plastic, and it's got these little pockets, and it's kind of a mess. So trying to get it all the way over, by the time you do that, it's dripping into the tire and wheel. But we got what we could in the thing. Everything else was captured on the plastic tarp. I used a rag to wipe the inside of the wheel. So now I'm going to dump our old oil, and then I'm going to use the 12 ounce mark to put in our new oil. So I'm going to go do that right now. I'll be right back. Okay, so we dumped our old oil in a recyclable container that we'll take to recycle later. We got 12 ounces of new fluid, new oil in this. We have a funnel that's very small on the end, so this is a very tiny fill, and it's not easy. I can't really get the picture up in there, so I'm gonna have to use a funnel. So we're just gonna pour this 12 ounces in. Put our cap back on. All right, so our oil change is done. So in just a matter of minutes, and for a very few dollars, we've changed the spark plug, we've changed the oil, We checked our air filter, it didn't need changed, and now this is going to be good for another year, and we'll do it again next winter. Hope that's helpful. Thank you for watching.